I just wanted to thank you for modeling for me.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
really appreciated you. I really liked the way they turned out. And I thought you did a really good job.
Thank you.
So I thought I'd ask you what the experience was like for you.
I guess I was nervous at first. I've never done anything like that before. But once we started getting into it, it was much easier to be a lot more animated. And having the door as a prop, I think really helped because I felt like it wasn't just me. I had, even though a door is an inanimate object, I felt like I had another actor, if you want to say that, with me that I had to interact with and react to and move around. So I think the door really actually helped. Like the pressure wasn't all on me.
And in your case, I came to your house, which I really appreciated. I just
Yeah.
thought that was a wonderful experience for me, as were a lot of those shoots I did in the studio here.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. Gave some good backgrounds, interesting backgrounds.
Yeah, and because it was at my house, obviously you feel more comfortable in your own space. So that made it easier as well.
So Olivia, I didn't ask you, what did you think of the results after you looked at all the photographs and the whole shoot?
First of all, I've never been photographed in that way before. And after seeing the pictures, looking at 90% of them, I would say that's exactly who I am. And it's odd to say you've never looked at yourself that way before, but looking at you, looking back at yourself, seeing who you really are, it was dramatic. It was kind of shocking. It's like, oh my God, yes, that's me. That's my whole story. That's me in a nutshell. That describes me perfectly, which was amazing to see. That was amazing, an amazing experience, but I never thought I would look at me as me and recognize myself like for the first time. So, thank you. That was amazing.
So what I'd like to know is, what did you think of that experience being photographed?
It was a little scary at first, but then once I started working with you and getting into it, then it became easier and easier.
Did you feel like you really got to express things you've never expressed before? You told me that you do things like that sometimes.
I'm kind of goofy in that way, but to be photographed doing it was something totally different.
Yeah.
And then the different hairstyle and the different makeup was,
Yeah.
that was different.
Yeah, I sprayed some water on you. And
Right.
So that was a new experience, that part
It was,
of it.
yeah, for the photographing part. And I really enjoyed that part. I
Okay.
did. It was fun.
What'd you think of working with the door itself?
Again, we talked. The door was difficult. It was different. It was difficult. I never had an object to pose with before, other than other human beings. So, as we said, it was a little stiff. It was a little non-flexible. It didn't want to work with me. I had to find ways to work with it. But with your assistance, it was very easy to do.
So Fred, thanks for being courageous enough to join me in that photo shoot. And I thought that you did an excellent job, and I was really happy with the results.
Well, thank you. And thank you for asking me to do it. I felt very honored.
During the photo shoot, I had a really good time, actually. And it was fun to be able to express different sides because we kind of did a light side and then a dark side. And the door was a fun piece because it can be used in so many different ways and have so many different meanings behind it. And so I think that was the funnest part for me.
That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. What was it like working with that door as far as like moving around it? Did you find it kind of difficult?
It was
Because
difficult.
Yeah.
It definitely was. Just because, I would have something in mind and then being in a room to having to be set for photography, it wasn't very big. So trying to move around that door and not knocking things over and injuring myself at the same time or breaking the camera. It was interesting, but it was difficult, but it was fun.
So Jordan, what I wanted to ask you is, did you see some of the results of the photos I took, and what did you think of them?
I did see some of the results, and I'm happy with what came out of the photo shoot. I thought that it was we did a good job expressing what we were wanting to express and making some fun, innovative moves with the door. And so I thought that we definitely accomplished what we were looking for.
Jordan, thanks so much for being there for me to help me out with this project, and I just really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Okay.
It's always a pleasure.
What was your experience like?
It was very unusual. I had never done anything like that. Parts of it was painful because just the stretching that I was doing and that, it was just kind of unusual in that sense. So, but it was very different.
Was it fun, or did it kind of push you?
It didn't push me in the sense of like being difficult. It was just kind of a new experience. So in that sense, yeah, I'm always interested in trying new things.
What did you think of the end result, the photographs that I showed you that I might use?
Those were amazing. I really, of course, normally I don't see myself in the way those photos show, and so but just the way they all, it almost, in some ways, I didn't feel human. In a way, I almost felt like I was more like an insect or something like that, just because, you know, that's just the way it came across to me.
That's really cool to hear. I was just kind of wondering what your experience was like being photographed.
It was a one-of-a-kind experience, truly. I have never been in front of a camera like that before, and it took me a while to warm up, as it did today, and it was transforming to me. It made me into somebody who I'm not. Ronda made me into somebody who I was not, and it just, without words, it was a one-of-a-kind experience.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I thought you did a great job. Great job.
You made me do a great job.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so what was it like working with that big door? I mean, did you find that difficult, or how'd you work into it?
At first it was difficult because I've never been into a situation that was ever like that. But once you made me transform and made me a part of it and made me work around it, it made me one with the door. And I did. I truly felt like I was attached to the door in some way. And it was a beautiful door.
I think
Yeah.
it was a great door
It was a
too.
great
I'm glad
door.
you appreciated that
Yeah,
door.
it was a great door.
And then did you see the results then? And
Yes.
see what did you
Yes.
think?
I showed them to my husband and he did not even recognize me. It was, these pictures were, I mean, I think I'm a pretty perky person, and it just made me look so dark and so mysterious, and it was
Quite different than
different, way different, but super cool. Super
I'm
cool.
glad you had a good time, and I really appreciate you doing that for me, Molly. I had a great time
absolutely.
too. And
I did, yeah.
so hopefully, maybe someday I'll call on you again. You never know, but it was fun.
Yay!
Thanks, Molly.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
So, what was it like? What kind of an experience was that being photographed?
Want to speak first?
Sure. It was really fun. I wasn't really sure what to expect at first, and I was sort of worried about, I was like, where do I put my hands, my body, my face? But when I got into it, it was just a really good experience. And you were very comfortable to work with.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I stopped being overly conscious of things and just sort of went with it. So.
Good. Good. How about you, Roger?
Well, I really wanted to do this because I like the intensity of your work, and I like the door idea because I think a door represents so many things. It represents the past and coming into a place and going out of a place. And so I thought it would be fun to have a shoot with a few symbols that were from the past and sort of from the future and sort of now. And so I got what I wanted. It was fun, and I'm anxious to see how it'll all look.
That's fantastic. I'm anxious to show you too. Was that door hard to work with? Just moving it around and everything, or?
I thought the door was easy to work with. What did you
I
think?
got used to it really quickly.
Did you?
and
Good.
Almost wasn't even that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was aware of it, but it was
You
just
kinda
sort
forgot
of
about it.
part of it and just grabbed onto it. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't awkward at all.
There's a lot of history in that door somehow.
Yeah.
There is. It's
a
been
good
built
story.
on
Yeah.
by somebody. It's been added to and taken away from. You can
Right.
see when you look at it close.
Right. It was
Yeah.
not originally. There was a time when before the filigrees were attached. You can see by how it's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. Well, would you do it again sometime? Be photographed by me if I ask you?
Oh, I'd totally do it again.
Would you?
Yeah.
Maybe something other than door.
Other than the door.
The next challenge.
The door ends with you guys.
Ah,
You're my
you're the
last. Yeah, you're the last. So the door is going to be. That's it for the door.